Suspense is
Guys, I'm nervous. I never did a podcast before. No, I'm kidding. What's going on, people? Ardhi Real Estate Podcast, episode 35, 36, not sure.
It's a whole bunch of
Come on, producer Kev.
It's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm your host, Ryan Fagan. Now the broker of record for Ardhi Real Estate, finally. Woo. Did we talk about that before?
Kind of
Shout out
briefly,
to
but
me.
yeah, shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to the Ardhi Real
Congratulations,
Estate
man.
team. Thank you.
Doing big things over there.
Yeah, and I got Drew Thompson of PRMI, and we got somebody new in the seat over here. We got Garnett. We're gonna find out about his whole life.
That's crazy.
We're gonna do a deep dive into your life.
Crazy.
Yep,
So if you're watching this episode today, always, this is an interactive show, so make sure you ask your questions. They don't have to be relevant to the topic, but we're going to try to get to them. Don't be a ninja watcher. Say hello, say hi, interact with us. We're having a good time over here. My dog's trying to jump on my lap. And we're going to talk about Garnett's life and getting into real estate, which might behoove some people that are thinking about getting into real estate. And then we're going to have an inside baseball talk about marketing from the real estate agent side and the lender side as a mortgage loan officer. So if you're interested in any of that, I would stay tuned. Also, I think marketing applies to anything. If you're trying to do your own small business, if you're working for a business, anything you do requires marketing. So I think we'll try to provide some value for you guys. So
Absolutely. Like the way you move.
yeah. Oh, whoa there.
Whoa there.
How you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day, but it's been a productive day. So.
You guys all closed stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good day,
Good
man.
day. Can't complain. Can't complain.
You had a closing.
Yep.
Hey.
One of my friends who is an investor, just closed on his second investment property. So
It's nice to have friends that are investors.
yeah, it's always good. Always good.
Do you like working with people that you know?
So far I do.
Yeah.
I
You haven't had one of them.
Nah, not yet. Plus, I make sure I go. I'm not gonna say above and beyond, but I treat them the exact same way. So like, I'm
Do they
dressed
treat
for
you
them.
the same?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Stop the cap.
I feel like they treat.
Yeah, ain't no cat.
I don't think they be acting right. Like my sister. Oh my God. My sister's buying a house in Florida.
Shout out to sis.
Oh God.
Crazy.
I'm trying to help her, but
Yeah. She said now. She good. We in there.
I didn't get no update. I don't know.
Swim
She
with
only called me when there's a problem.
Yeah, that's usually when we get calls.
When,
man.
when everything's good, everything's working out. No call. But
Yeah.
oh, thanks for solving this problem or explaining it.
Uh-huh. That's it. But
That's
she
what we're
good.
there for.
Golly.
Shout out to sis.
Yeah. I think it's straight now. We'll see.
Yeah.
She was working with like 3 different agents.
Yeah,
Talking about marketing and stuff. How's
We were
that
just
happen?
talking about that before we got on
Yep.
camera.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Can get a little rough.
Spicy.
Garnett,
Yes, sir.
how would you introduce yourself? Like,
I don't know. That's a very good
what's
question.
your Instagram?
Uh,
Kev, write it down.
Sherlock Homeboy. That's
Sure.
boy with
It's
an
all
I.
one word.
Yeah. Yep. Sherlock
Okay.
Homeboy. I can barely spell, but it's
Where
boy
did-
with an I.
Where did it all begin for you? Where were you born?
Where was I born? So I was born in Camden, New Jersey. I did a lot of moving around early on. Moved out of Camden when I was around 6 or 7. I moved to Pine Hill, New Jersey. From there, one of my aunts actually moved to the other side of Pine Hill, New Jersey. And during that time, my mother passed away. My father went to prison. I had to move in with my aunt on the other side of town. And we stayed there till I was around 13. And then we moved to Pennsauken. I was in 8th grade. After that, kind of grew up in Pennsauken.
Okay. You graduated high school in Pennsauken.
Yes, Pennsauken High, class of 08. I'm proud of that.
Always stand up. Always stand up. Let's
Oh,
go.
you're older than I thought.
How old you think I
Shout out
was,
to
man?
you. I'm 06.
Ah,
Yeah.
well,
Oh God.
You got a young, I don't know. You got a young look to you.
that's
You
the
got all your hair. You got the
that's
waves.
the. I mean, barely, bro. I pray for my hairline every day. Trust me, I'm fighting for it every day.
You could do a bald, I think, maybe.
No, I
No?
think bald. You gotta have a certain look. I ain't got that look.
You don't got no
Trust
grays
me.
or nothing.
Nah, I plucked out maybe one or two. I'm actually not afraid of gray, so I don't call them that. I call it going platinum. Yeah, we don't do grays over here. We
He's
go
a
double
salesman.
plat.
Mhm. So we going platinum.
Yeah.
I'm all gray.
Listen.
I like it.
Platinum.
Yeah, it means you know something, though. You know.
That always don't mean that, but I'm gonna go for yeah.
Well, that's my
Mhm.
sales pitch. On it.
Listen, everybody loves salt and pepper.
When it's time for that to happen, I'm actually going to be really excited. Right now, just having one. I'm good,
Yeah,
I'm
one
good,
doesn't
I'm good,
work.
yeah.
That don't work.
I got one as long as my leg and my beard right now.
What?
Gotta.
I just let him be there. I let him live.
Now you got to trim him.
Gotta
That's
I
crazy.
let him live.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
wrong.
they think but my hair. It was funny. You was mentioning your hairline. Me and my brother and my family have a running joke because we thank my grandfather because my dad was like Ryan, and my grandfather had all of my grandfather and his brothers had full heads of hair, and the hairlines is tight.
Wait,
So
how was he like me?
he does
My
not
skin tone or hair?
your hair.
I was
crazy.
The lack thereof.
Oh,
Yeah, dad had the side parts, but the top was nothing. It was
a lot of the women
Oh,
prefer
yeah, the
my head
convertible?
the way that it is now.
women love a bald head.
Mm.
When I
Show them
cut
old
it off-
pictures where I had waves and stuff, they're like, "Nah, you look better now." Are they just saying that to make me feel better? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I mean, the
I never
ball
seen
fits
the
you.
old picture.
Am I chocolate yet?
You are not
Man,
chocolate.
I'm a
you
little
need to quit
darker.
that- You need to quit that narrative.
I'm a
You-
little darker.
You
Dog.
ain't never gonna be chocolate around. Yeah.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna look like Drew. I can do it.
First of all, hopefully just in tone, not in size, because this ain't fun. But
I was getting there.
Oh man.
So Garnett, what did you do after high school?
Oh man, I did a bunch of things. So high school, I actually played sports, played basketball. So after that, I ended up going to.
Wait, how tall are you?
Like how tall am I in your perception, or like how tall do I feel like I am? Those are two
Both?
different.
I'll take the second one.
Yeah,
So me, I'm 6'4", 220.
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
Now
okay.
you may not believe that, but that's fine.
I
You
hear
can
it
roll with
today.
that.
You can identify however you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I've always just identified like this, even before it was cool. That's it. But yeah, I ended up playing basketball. Ended up going to my grades sucked in high school. By the way, I just wasn't I wasn't a trier in high school.
Were you
yeah.
fun in high school? How would they describe you in high school?
On the back end of my like high school career, yes, like I kind of like broke out of my shell, and I think that like maybe made me a little more like, man, F school. Like,
Oh, you got
yeah.
cool. You went from
in a
awkward to
sense.
cool.
So, well, like I said, I moved to Pensacola in the middle of 8th grade. So, like, I really didn't know too many people, especially moving in the middle of 8th grade.
But you're like, I'm from Camden.
Nah, I never ever said that. Never. I'm from everywhere. That's, yeah. I'm accepted everywhere. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
But yeah, getting into sports, you get to know people. So from there, it just was what it was. 11th grade, what like broke me out of my shell more than anything, because naturally I'm just a calm dude. Like I'll much rather sit in a corner and just watch people. I know that sounded a little weird, but that's kind of like
No, I like watching people.
I'd rather just chill out. Like if you want to flock to me, that's fine, but I never go chasing people. But we had a speech and drama class, and doing the acting inside of there and being on the announcements and things like that, that was like super cool. So that kind of like made me a lot more social outside of also basketball, starting varsity and things like that. So
That's cool.
but yeah, after that, went to community college. Like I said, my grades sucked. Had an opportunity to bring my grades up a little bit. And
What'd you go to school for? What was your plan at that point?
Shit, it really wasn't a plan, bro.
You just went just
yeah. I mean,
just
I'm here.
College is the thing to do.
Yeah, it really wasn't like a super plan. If I would have followed my actual plan, I'd have been doing real estate at 18.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
How did real estate get in your head when you were younger?
Truthfully, I would say So before my dad went to prison, like I remember us, I might have been 5, 6 years old at the time. We just used to ride around. He used to ride me around like neighborhoods that his friends grew up in. So a lot of Voorhees, a lot of Cherry Hill, and we used to just go see big houses. And during that time, like he kind of used to like talk to me like a grown man, like tell me a bunch of like life things and things that I remember like now. So I always knew I was like into houses. So fast forward to when I was 18, I was actually getting kicked out of my aunt's house
Oh
at the
God.
time.
What you do?
Yeah, just wasn't showing up for school, just not, just being a degenerate, man. Just not
Okay.
doing the things that I was supposed to be doing. Like even though I wasn't a bad kid, I was not
Mhm.
there destructing the world
You just didn't
I
like
just
school.
at all. I already knew like that wasn't, my path at the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, that ended up taking a toll, on my aunt. And yeah, she ended up, in the process of kicking me out. My older cousin is talking to me. He's like, yo, like, what you want to do with your life? Like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, man, like, I'm gonna do real estate.
Mm. Were you
And
watching like real estate shows? And were they
no.
on? No.
So that was the kind of like the irony of it was like I said that and it was like, yeah, I want to do real estate.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, I want to do it, but I never wouldn't follow through with it. Finished high school, played basketball, went to Wilmington University. After a semester and a half there, ended up dropping out, and then I did a bunch of things that helped me today. But at the time, shit kind of hurt. Yeah, kind of, go on this journey. And
Like what were you doing?
just a bunch of one just like odd jobs, things like that, not having a career per se, but during that time, I did comedy, I did radio, I did podcasting, I did some acting, I did skits, I did videography. I was around.
Did you like that stuff or like
Yeah,
you were just
like, well, no, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, but in the long run it was that like my career thing.
right?
No,
You never
um,
dreamed to be like an actor. You didn't want to be Michael
well,
B. Jordan or anything.
definitely not Michael B. Jordan.
What's wrong with Michael B. Jordan?
I mean, he cool,
Goddamn,
but
goddamn.
I mean, wouldn't you rather have like Will Smith's career or like Denzel Washington's
whoa,
career?
Will
Oh, God.
Smith.
Yeah,
I would
wouldn't you?
not want to be Will Smith.
I say his career.
Yeah, his career is
Yeah,
lit.
like, come
It's-
on now.
His career is, but you can't. You
I
can't-
mean,
can't
why
get
wouldn't you
that.
want to be Will Smith? That's not a bad person to want to be.
I don't think I'd trade places with Will Smith. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't trade places with anybody, but
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing he did was he got shamed for not cursing in his music.
No, that was cool. I like that.
To you, like Eminem dissed him because
Yeah. I remember.
he had a beef with what, like what?
On
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
And then he ended up slapping somebody for talking about his wife. Like that's the worst thing he did. Yeah, it's not terrible. He could have did way worse things than that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's people out here being mad aggressive on women, drug addicts, a lot of things that people would frown upon. He,
Shout out to Will Smith.
he had his moment.
Yeah.
He had his moment. It's fine.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you were into, kind of the arts. Let's
Yeah.
say.
And all self-taught. So fast forward to now, like I use all of those things today,
Right.
and I'm very equipped at doing it. So it's like without going through that, I probably wouldn't be here doing this. So
That's why I like having these
That's
conversations this way, because I always find it interesting. First of all, how does an idea get in your head? Like I always think I should have been a lawyer or something, but no one ever encouraged me. 'Cause I'm real good at arguing, and I'm real logical. Like
Mm.
uh,
Hey, it's
I
never
should've
too.
done that.
It's never too
it's,
late, man.
it's never too late.
my friend did it. I ain't doing that. I'm done.
It's never too
No,
late.
It's over. It's over for me.
So speaking like, earlier I didn't like school. Now I understand like, yeah, if I could do it over again, I probably would bust my tail to go ahead and be a lawyer.
I was
honestly.
going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Would you recommend to young people to go on that journey that you went on? Because I do think there's probably more value in like doing a lot of those other things, like odd jobs and like, I don't know, work construction for a month and then like try to do some acting, do radio, like all that kind of stuff. You learn a lot
Yeah.
from doing that kind of stuff, probably more in a school.
Get a
Practically.
You get punched in your face. So, like, yeah, just a lot of life lessons for the most part. Would I advise them? No. What I would advise them to do is to get a plan early. How about that?
You think it's possible? Because I'm a weirdo. I always had a plan. I did literally every step that I was planning on doing, minus I wanted to work in IT because I was in the Army for IT. And then 2008 happened and there were no jobs. So I kind of skipped that part. But other than that, I did everything I was planning on doing. But I feel like most young people don't have a plan.
I think
which
they
confuses me. I'm
No,
like, why you ain't got no plan?
I think naturally they do because we all have like dreams and aspirations. I think
Mm-hmm.
life punches them in the face or someone tries to tell them differently. You know, when you ask, and this is why it's important to, you know, talk to your child and not necessarily like give them too much direction. Just talk to them, help them. And, you know, don't take away their dreams. How about you try to figure out solutions to make their dreams work?
Right.
So, you know, there are some things where, you know, somebody may grow up and be like, oh, well, maybe younger and be like, hey, I want to be a veterinarian, right? But by the time they get to high school, you know, they're doing cosmetology. That is nothing wrong with cosmetology, but something probably happened in between that time.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, maybe I feel like I couldn't do that, or maybe, oh, I don't want to do that much schooling, or whatever the case may be, that just like steered them away from their actual natural dream. Because I feel like we all kind of revert back to what we naturally want to do or what we always wanted to do. So, you know, even when we're younger, that's why we always like, if you love sports when you was younger, you still gonna love sports later on. You're not playing it, but that's not gonna stop you from watching it. Or when your sons or daughters is out there playing sports, that you're not tuned into it. So I feel like we all kind of revert back to what we naturally want to do, no matter where our job or career may take us. We're still going to be interested in those things if we are able to tap back into that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I think there is a lack of encouragement overall. And I think actually young men especially are not getting encouraged to do things and live like they're, you know, to explore and do stuff.
It's hard because, I mean, when you look at, again, a lot of young people in general, they're not focused on one thing. We grew up in an age where we didn't have all the access to the internet and TikTok and Facebook and all the different memes and stuff like that. So a lot of kids get focused on things that may not be attainable for them, or that they think is the lane, or again, they get caught up in wanting to be that rapper. And that's not something, not to say there's something that there's anything wrong with that, but at the same time, they get caught up in a dream that may not fit their lane or their skill set or anything like that. And then we have, again, people that are just like, oh yeah, you know, follow
crypto.
Yeah,
it's like a trend.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a trend. They get caught up in the trends and everything like
Yeah.
that. And you know, a lot of kids, you know,
Drop shipping.
when I drop shipping, I mean, again, becoming an entrepreneur in general, you know,
And they're
and
not defaulting to the thing that they actually, like you were saying, is like
they're not bringing it back to what they actually, that
their
dream.
skill set.
They wanted to be an astronaut when they were 7 years old. They're not being astronauts. They're not being doctors. They're not being lawyers. You know, they're going after the social media influencer job, or they want to be a funny guy, or they want to do the, you know, the skits and stuff like that, or, you know, they go after the things that may not be as solid. And again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing those things. It's just their attention is in so many different places.
Right.
And I don't want to say lack of role models, but the people that are in their lives that they look up to are doing things that don't interest them, or they can't see the interest and value in the things that they do.
I don't think they talk to them, because
They
if
don't.
a lawyer was in my family, I'd probably be a lawyer. I swear to God. But, you know, I feel like my working class parents never thought about that. So if like, that's why I feel like that's why kids want to be a teacher all the time, because that's the job that they see, or a police officer. They don't know all the jobs, so you're not even exposed. That's why I always ask how people get into real estate, because how do you get exposed to real estate? You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a thought that comes to a lot of people's mind.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And again, unless, I mean, a lot of kids you see today, or agents that you see, they're like, oh, well, you know, I went to a Tony Robbins class, or I went to do this, and you know, I needed to make extra money. I wanted to do it on the side, and you know, nobody had the passion of like, no, my pop drove me around and showed me a bunch of big houses and stuff like that. That's how I got into the flow and everything like that.
Because Lord, in this business, you need a deeper reason for doing stuff other than money, because you're gonna get beat up and you're not gonna get no money. Sometimes working with people.
Come on now,
man. Talk the truth.
Come on now.
We had these combos like off camera, but yeah, a lot of people that get into it, and it's like I don't think it's any shame or anything, because I think we should try a bunch of things. Me personally, I don't think anybody should be doing just one single thing for the rest of their life.
Right.
It's hard to.
It's at a certain point that means you're probably not evolving. You know, you're not like trying to take chances and things like that. But you know, a lot of people that get into this, this job looks glamorous. Like we make it look great. Like we really do. But when you get into it, we only really get an hour, maybe 2 hours to celebrate. Hopefully once a month, once every 2 months, like, and that's closing. And then once the closing is done, you go right back to solving problems and figuring it out and marketing and being on the grind, doing showings and trying to figure out, okay, where's the next one coming from? So it's like we do a bunch of hard work every day, all day for an hour. Kind of like if you want to compare it to sports, it's like they practice more than they play games. Like in football, they practice Monday through Friday. They do the walkthrough on Saturday, and then they playing on Sunday.
Yeah, Usain Bolt said something like, I trained for a year to run for 9.8 seconds.
And that's the only time he get glory. Other than that,
that's like real estate,
he suffers. He's literally put himself through pain and suffer for those 9 seconds. And just to, believe in himself, to hope that he's going to be number one, because you never know, but you believe in yourself that that's what you want to be. So
you were doing all the art stuff and kind of odd jobs. How did you fall back into real estate, or like actually take the plunge?
Man, the pandemic was a really interesting time. I feel like that was a time that the world may have needed, of course not health wise, for a lot of people. It was a bad time, but as far as just, I don't even think people even imagine the world stopping and you having to like sit down and chill with a loved one and not realize, I really don't like this person. I'm just gone 10 hours a day and they're gone and we chill for 2 hours and so it's a lot of things that change. Or some people, they work so much they forgot that, their kids demand a lot. That, wow, I have to be around 10, 11, 12, 2-year-olds all day long. It's like, yes, but during those times, if you look at the glass half full, you can appreciate that. Okay, you are spending time with people that you may normally not spend time with. So during that time, we still had the internet. The internet was coming up with the most creative stuff. You had Versus, podcasting really took a boom because it's like, well, what else am I going to do? Going live on Instagram, Facebook, that was a thing. So during that time, I was actually a co-host on Mina Say What's podcast. During that time, that's a really good friend and a mentor of mine. So shout out to Mina. During that time, we're doing interviews weekly, and we end up having I always forget her name, but she's very instrumental. But she is an investor. She's at the time 23, 24 years old, and her husband owns 28 properties. And they started out doing wholesaling. So, something clicked, was, I'm really interested in this interview. Like, I'm not here trying to be funny or nothing. Like, I'm writing down the things that you're saying so I can ask a follow-up question to it. And, the interview went well. After that, I'm like, man, let me fact check a lot of the things that she's saying. Like, let me see if she's bluffing or not. Like, is it really possible to acquire 28 properties when you started out with $0? Holy crap. And went on the internet, checked everything out, and I'm like, wow, wholesaling look like it sucks, but it is possible.
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, I won't do wholesaling, but I do know I want to be able to control my time, my freedom, and feel like there's no ceiling on how much money I can make. And eventually I want to become an investor. I'm like, okay, what's the best way of doing it? How can I obtain capital, but also put myself in a good position to grow a career to eventually, start investing? And it's like real estate agent. Wow, I get to see a lot of the properties first. You get a chance to make your own schedule, to have freedom on time, and then you have the possibility of creating an income that you desire. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that clicks. During that time, I had a flashback of those times with my dad, and I'm like, yeah, this just feels good. This feels like the right decision. And in that moment, I signed up for class, and I also knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So it was uh it was like an epiphany, like a quick second of like everything just rushing to the front of my brain. It was like, yep, I'm doing it, and this is how I'm gonna do it. Signed up for class. And
What was the plan?
Just a plan of how I planned on marketing myself and like the type of agent that I wanted to be.
So you thought about marketing right away?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Marketing didn't even occur to me till after I had my license.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, now what do I do?
How do I get myself
I think that
out
happens
there?
to a lot of people. So that's interesting. You thought about how to market yourself.
Yeah.
Did you talk to anyone around you? Like, usually when you're doing a career change or whatever, a lot of people will ask their friends and family, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Did you have any of those kind of conversations? Or are you one of those people like, don't share your dreams with nobody?
No, I do agree with them with certain things, but when my mind is made up, it's really nothing you can do. It's like if you're going to support me, I love it. If you're not going to support me, thanks for motivation. But like I'm going to do what my mind is set on doing.
Okay.
But some of the people that I end up like telling, they were like, okay, like, yeah, that sounds dope, but they didn't understand my entire plan. So when I'm saying it, they're like, oh, okay. But my whole thing was, I knew when I was 17, 18 years old, I want to get paid to wake up and be myself every day.
Big.
That was
bar.
always my
That's
goal.
a bar.
How can I wake up, get paid to be myself every day? Like I looked at like the Kardashians do that, bro. They like, what do? They wake up and just be themselves, and they get paid millions of dollars, billions of like worth billions to literally just be them. And it's like, yeah, I want to wake up and not have to change myself. So when I thought about real estate, it hit me that, oh, I can do everything that I want to do.
It's funny that you're saying that, because my experience with real estate when I first started, and I think a lot of people do this, is they're not themselves. They feel like they have to be a real estate agent, like what you see on HGTV, or like present yourself a certain way and act a certain way and talk a certain way. And I don't know, one day something clicked and I was like, F that. I gotta just be how I'm gonna be, because when you're like, I'm Mr. Real Estate Agent, it makes it, you have like a mask, and it's not fun.
It's wild. So I mean, same thing when we talked about this on a podcast a couple of years back. As a loan officer, you try to fit the mold of what they tell you loan officers should be when you first get in the industry. Who you have to talk to, the hands you have to shake, the babies you got to kiss, and everything like that. So trying to do that in a world that isn't always a straight line and everything like that is difficult a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you do get to that point where you're just like, man, screw it. This is me. This is who I am.
And to be real, as a minority, there's like that extra component, right? Because it's going to sound, I don't have a better way to say it, but like black stuff is less professional just by default, right? Like your hair, if you have natural hair, you're not professional. If you use any kind of slang, or like, or your accent or however you speak, that's not professional. And so like, I feel
sometimes
like
your presence isn't professional.
Yeah, just your being is just deemed not professional.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, and that's why I fell in love with real estate, because there is like a corporate thing, but it's not like, well, there isn't like a big corporate office that all real estates go to. You actually, like, you are an entrepreneur within this. So it's only so much somebody could say to you.
Facts.
You can promote yourself however you want. And guess what? There is a lane for that. So I think anybody that's going to be successful, especially in marketing, is you have to be uniquely you. There's some agents, they don't dress up at all, and it works for them. And there are people that want an agent exactly like that talk like that, because they want to feel, that's their demographic. It's other agents that, yeah, they follow everything by the book.
Right.
They're going to do this, they're going to do that, but there's a lane for everybody. And you just got to figure out whatever your lane is, because that's where you're going to be the most successful at. You could be successful doing all those other things, but you're going to wake up feeling happy and not feeling like, man, I got to do this. No, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
You're going to be around the people that you actually enjoy being around. So yeah, my idea is just like, man, wake up, be yourself, and it's going to separate you from everybody else. I can't do what you do, you can't do what I do, and vice versa. So it's like, if you just focus on whatever you want to do, go ahead. Like I feel like the ceiling doesn't exist if you're doing that.
You're saying all the things that I'd be saying, but I do think it's funny because I think that's new, that being authentically you is a thing. So like, if you look back in the day, the salesman had a certain archetype, and if you didn't fit that, you probably wasn't gonna be successful. And I think COVID had a lot to do with it, but just modern times and social media, people actually like to work with people that they identify with more on a personal level. And real estate was always personal, but even more so now, which has opened the lane. And I always tell agents that I'm like working with, you gotta, like you said, just be yourself, and your niche will go to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I so personally, I've always been sort of like I'm going to do what I'm going to do, for better and for worse.
Hey.
I'm one of the kids that are like, and I vividly remember, don't touch the iron. What? I'm going to touch, like, I have to do that,
Right.
because if that's what I want to do, that's what I'm going to do. So, even getting into this game, it really didn't matter what anybody was going to say to me. I was going to make sure I at least followed out my plan. And it's been, I'm not going to say rough so far, but everybody else has a plan for your life. Everybody has an idea of what you should be doing, how it can help. And some of them genuinely mean what, most of them I feel like mean well. They don't want to see you fail or anything like that. But one thing that I've been just always preaching to myself, especially when I got into this industry, is stick to your script, because it's going to work. I seen it already.
Where does that confidence come from?
Already.
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Well,
I think they try 8-10 different things, and then obviously if you're not consistent at doing the thing, it don't work, right? So any path can work if you stay on it, but they don't stay on it because they reach in here. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, I'm doing this. Where do you think you get that? That's pretty bold to say, oh, look, I'm just going to do it. Here's how I'm going to do the business, from not knowing nothing in the beginning. Although those other experiences probably helped you, gave you an idea about how to do that. But where does that come from?
Where does it come? I think a lot of trial and error, bro. Like, honestly. And I've always been somebody that is quote unquote hard-headed. I was not a bad person, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do at the end of the day. So even learning different tools, I feel like I'm capable of everything, but like I said, I've seen it already. I wholeheartedly believe it. I've had things that showed me I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at, even within the last couple of weeks. I've had people just reinforce certain things that, I believe, but we all have our days, and it's like, man, that was right on time, bro. But yeah, it's literally just I don't know, man. Just
I got you.
we're
So if you guys should look at Garnett's social media, because you'd be cracking me up with some of the what was it? Was it Family Matters? Was it Fresh Prince? He'd be doing all the skits.
I didn't do Fresh Prince yet. That's on. I'm actually like waiting for that. That's like a special thing to do, because that's going to take a lot more capital to do the way I want to do it. I could probably do it now, but that's like one of those, But yeah, man, I just love what I do. That goes back to how I grew up though. Like me and my family members, my cousins, my brother, we used to watch all of those shows.
Right.
You know, and
so it's like fun to do. It's not like work, right?
Man, do you have brothers and sisters or anything?
That's my brother
you said
over here producing
well,
the
look,
show.
how many jokes that y'all didn't had growing up?
No, I didn't like him.
That's fine.
And I was old.
So
I barely dealt with them.
That's fine, but y'all have some type of
difference.
some type of middle connection.
I love Kevin now and my sister Sierra. Shout out to my brother.
Yeah, you better make that up. But no, those are all things that are like honest to me. Like one of my cousins called me and we grew up together. And he's like, yo, like something's really wrong with you. I'm like, this goes back to us like mimicking wrestling. Right. And like thinking that we are like Hulk Hogan and doing a bunch of things or being like Ninja Turtles. But these are all things that I naturally grew up on. So like when I look back at the work that I've created and put out, it's like, yeah, I love the Wayans family. So it's like I grew up watching the Wayans brothers. So if you look at some of the skits, it's like, oh, I've done 4 things that they've done. Mm-hmm. I naturally like that.
Yeah.
So, Kev, we got comments. I'm on Facebook now. I'm seeing Odie Carr said hello. Broker of record, Drew Thompson. Ebony, what's going on? Ebony, she said, what's up, y'all? Kyle Lloyd's in here. Ivan's in here. What's going on, people? If you guys have questions for Garnett, me, or Drew, let me know. If you are thinking about buying or selling a house and have a question, you can always ask. Or if you want to know about me being a chocolate man that I identify as. We can talk about it.
Wild.
Yeah.
Let's swing back to Brother Garnett. Let's swing back to Brother Garnett.
Oh, what? Wait, is Garnett considered chocolate?
I'm on my way.
You be outside one more time. Also, as this is an intermission of me just being silly, we have the Ardhi Real Estate Mixer on June 30th, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
And you guys should come out. It was a vibe. We're going to talk. Drew's going to talk about how you can leverage your equity to your advantage. And you don't need to own a home to come out. You don't need to be a real estate professional. You're going to meet good people. Maybe you'll meet your agent. Maybe you'll meet a contractor, plumber.
The love of your life.
I was going to say, a love of your life.
Come on,
hey, they be out at the party. So it's a possibility. Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Absolutely.
Men or women. I got a couple DMs. They said they like what they saw from the video last time.
On the hunt.
They wanted to come. So okay, all right, cool. But yeah, it's a good time. You'll learn a little bit, but it's really a vibe and it's for fun and to meet people. So a lot of people exchange contact information, and we do it the right way, where relationships build from the relationship before the business. I always say so. It's better to have a relationship before you try to do business. That's the old school way. Back in the Mad Men days, they sit there and have a whiskey and chat and smoke a cigar before problems. Before you engage in the business. And I'm trying to bring that back a little bit.
And the last event was it was great, bro. I pulled you to the side and let you know how much it's actually needed. It's a change of pace, and it's something different. I feel like you're really standing out, and it's who doesn't like barbecue vibes? Like that's always a good time, some good music, some good people. And then on top of that, you get some good knowledge. So, even there, like you said, people that may not be interested right now in the look or may not even know what the word equity means. Right. You're going to find out, because these are important things, or things that, hey, look, you may not own a home, but at least you'll have the knowledge for your kids to own a home, or your nephew to own a home, or anything like that. And at least you'll start to understand. Maybe that will get you in a game or have a career change, whatever the case may be.
We're going back to exposure. You'll get exposed to an idea or a person that you might be able to not utilize the person, but have an impact or give you an idea that you didn't have before, and expand your network, which is in my older age has become very important. So yeah,
absolutely. Sorry, I was dying over here.
I know.
I was joking. I had to get a little something over here.
We just talked about the pandemic, and we about to go back. If he do that one more time, we are shutting down.
Open the window in this joint.
That is hilarious.
No, sorry about that. But yeah, come out to the event, y'all. It was a good time.
You
Good
guys,
vibes.
it's free, and it ain't gonna stay free because
Yeah.
I can't just. They drank all my liquor at the Juneteenth party.
Juneteenth
Well,
party.
you know how
like this
people
one.
won't drink all your liquor, and I bet you they still drink it. You gotta buy like Gordon's vodka or something, man.
I
You
can't
gotta-
do that. We gotta stay classy. I have Pinnacle, but the flavor Pinnacles to make mixed drinks, but nobody wanted to drink it. But I like it.
After
For
a
a
few
mixer.
drinks, bro, don't nobody really
Don't nobody
care.
care.
All
They
that
was still
bougie stuff
bougie.
leave
No,
the-
they was bougie. They was
No,
drunk and
so
bougie at the same time.
You gotta, and I'm mad I'm saying this, but like, listen, man, if you pour that Jose Cuervo in a 1942 bottle, after a couple drinks, no one's gonna realize that.
Mhm.
You'll be a-okay, bro. I'm just letting you know.
Like this, that 1968.
They're gonna be like, word.
That's law.
That's something to think about. So if y'all feel like his Casamigos is tasting a little off, you
I would
know,
never.
but you gotta respect it. Unless you bring your own, Casamigos, how you gonna complain?
Ryan
Somebody
bought
brought-
Casa for the next event.
Somebody brought an 1800 that was gone in 5 minutes.
I bet.
Yeah, tequila's.
We killed 4 of the big Jose Cuervos. It was really, guys. We had fun.
First of all, shout out to
like
Kirkland.
this
Do not be ashamed to buy Kirkland liquor from Costco. People love Costco, and Costco has liquor.
I don't have a membership.
I got you. Say less.
Marketing.
Marketing. Let's go. Tell me about your process, man.
Yeah,
Like
there
when
you
you come up with, like, I know again, it's all stuff that stem from your childhood, what you grew up on.
Yeah.
But when you go to make a video, what is the initial spark? Like, what makes you go, yeah, that's it?
Usually, if it's not already, so some of these things I've had written down since I had the idea. Like I've had ideas already written down. Like the Family Matters, I had that idea like 7 months before I even did it. But some of it be life experience, like what I'm actually doing in that moment in real estate. So the one that makes me laugh a bunch, and I end up getting a pretty good response off of it, was just us as real estate agents, how we just have to be like, yeah, okay, need it, yeah, which is based off of a Kevin Hart joke. I was literally on the phone all day, and I was so frustrated that was the only thing I could think of. Like this is all I do every day, all day. All I just says, yeah, sure, you want that? Of course, yeah, why not? I'll do it. Don't worry about it. And literally, I was so frustrated all day that I'm like, that's what popped in my head. It made me laugh. Like I wasn't mad frustrated, but I'm like, damn, bro, this is. But literally that night, that's what I ended up recording. I put out something which it made me laugh too, but based off of life experiences. Where right now in the market, man, if you got a buyer, it's a little rough out there, And the first thing I thought about, had like 5 buyers at the time. I'm like, man, we got to get something accepted. We got to do this. We got to do that. I thought about, what was it? 5 cents a day, like feed the children, where like, they're like begging, they're like, and it was like, yo, for one listing, you can save a buyer's life, because I'm literally sitting there like, oh my goodness, that's the first thing that popped in my head. And out of the frustration, it made me laugh. And I'm like, man, I got to do it because it's real in this moment. Like it's funny, but it's not a joke. I'm dead serious. Like most of the time when I post stuff, it's not necessarily to be funny. It's just to get your attention. Right. But in those moments, the Life Jennings, I feel like that was that's always been hilarious my whole life. Yep. So like reacting that, I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. And then I end up saying it in front of my cousin, and she was like, yo, you actually sound like it. And she started busting out laughing. I'm like, I gotta do it now. It's only like 30 seconds. So let me just put something together. But a lot of it is life experiences, man. We go through so much on a daily basis that, boy, if you don't laugh, you're not gonna survive.
I know that's right, man.
You're not gonna survive. So that's the first thing my brain goes to is how can we make that happen?
It's funny that you say that is serious, but it's funny because delivering a message, especially today, there's a bajillion agents and everyone's trying to do social media finally now. But delivering a message in a unique way, and a way that I don't think anybody can replicate like your style of doing it, right? Because it comes back to your childhood. And even if other people like the Family Matters, the way that you're going to do it is different, and the message is going to be different, and the things that you're going through, it's going to translate differently through the video. So I think that's super interesting. Yeah. It's funny because I have all the production capabilities, but I'm not that creative. So like I can produce something high quality, but I don't have the ideas to. I'm not that fun. I'm boring.
And I'm the other way around. I cannot do the video stuff that you can do, but I got content ideas for days. Like it's sick.
That sounds like a match made in heaven. Right? Come on now.
Yeah. Sound like that's why I reached out to you, because I think there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of synergies there.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to, I worked well with the camera. I've already did content before. Now I'm just doing it here. And, I put myself, like, I was a stand-up comedian for like 3 years. So like I had to train my mind on how to do regular things and try to find it funny, or like try to make a joke out of it, even more so than I would naturally do. So now when, I'm watching something on TV, it's my mind goes to, how can I relate this to real estate? When I'm watching the TV show that I love, I watch it every day. I know it more, maybe the average person, but like I know it. I know these characters. Okay, so how can I make it real estate based as far as marketing?
What's your response like when you post something like that? Or, did they generate leads, or how long were you doing that kind of stuff before it really started catching like traffic? Because I know when you start, nobody be paying attention.
So man, I'll say this: my hardest edit so far was I redid the Martin intro. So I was working on that. I recorded it. Like I had the idea when I first started, so it's almost 2 years old. But I recorded it maybe 2.5, maybe about 2 months ago.
And when you record, like, how long does that take you?
The recording part, something like that was maybe an hour, because I had to change clothes. I had to turn in like 5. It wasn't super long. How
about the prep? Are you writing the stuff out, or are you just
something like that?
Storyboard?
I'm just making sure. Yeah, something like that. I did do an outline, but I'm literally just doing movements. My whole thing is studying the actual intro, and that's why the whole job is editing. And man, it could be fun at times, but when you got a long road ahead of you, you'd be like, oh, I don't feel like
horrible.
Because the whole job, I probably spent about 7 hours on that, but like I spaced it out where it was like, yeah, I'm not in a rush on this. I used to do that, and then I'll burn myself out. So I was like, hey, I'll work on it for a half hour, an hour, or I'll see like, how can I chop this up? So with that,
do you do it on the phone?
Yes.
Oh my!
So
God.
my camera. My camera is actually broken at the moment. I got to get it fixed.
Wait, you edit on the phone?
Yeah, I shoot and edit on the phone.
Oh my goodness!
I
don't even know how to edit on the phone.
You got to use what you got.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got to use what you got. But I say all that to say,
what program you use?
InShot.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll shoot it on my actual, like on my phone. Other times I may use different programs. So I may actually shoot it on Instagram, save it, and then edit it on something else.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I kind of bounce around depending on what I'm doing.
Do you think there's a correlation from the time that you put into creating the video to the response?
No. So that's what I was getting to. I worked so hard on this Martin. And the thing is, now I know it, but you still got to do it. So I worked so hard. Like I said, basically I was like a 2.5 month thing, right? Like 2 month thing. And I put it out, and yeah, it's not like my highest viewed video. Like it didn't have like a super big impact, but that doesn't mean that it won't in the future. Just at the moment, for whatever reason, people didn't get around to it, or however the algorithms are set up, it just didn't.
We got to talk about that.
Yes, it's a little messed up, man.
About the algorithms, because I do other content and it just don't make no sense.
It's not supposed
to. Especially Instagram.
It's not supposed
What's up
to,
with
man.
Instagram, man?
They change it. They do what they want. You have to be very specific, whether it's the time of day, whether it's the hashtag, whether it's are you actually like they can identify if you're using their platform like initially or not. The music behind it. So that's what I think happens. So usually I use the music on whatever platform. They don't have the Martin theme song. So it comes from YouTube. Now they can't flag me because it's no words on it. It's like it's no lyrics.
Right.
But they're not going to promote it as much because of
Still copyrighted
because it's not on their platform somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So I may have got, or more people may have actually seen it if they had the Martin theme song and I was just able to use that on the video. But
now that it's on their platform because you've used it, somebody can use your sound that it'll probably make their video go viral.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
Or you could, that's interesting.
Yeah, because you can use, so it's technically it's original audio because it's not from them. So, and then you can do that.
Yeah.
So when you're analyzing your video after you've done it, like what's your process for that? Because I see certain content, and I think mostly I'm talking about Instagram, where a reel might not have as many views, and weirdly it might have more engagement, and I get more responses or DMs about something, and then something will get more views but less engagement somehow, which I thought engagement was the thing that was supposed to drive your content. So how do you approach, I guess, your analytics or like your response versus when you're posting, and like how, like what's your thought process after you've been posting for a while and stuff like that?
So I try to post around the same time. I like morning times because just from my own preference, I don't care what algorithm says. I just feel like people are up and they're on their way to work or they're at work, and that first hour, 2 hours, nobody really trying to do nothing. They on their phone catching up because they was asleep for 8 hours. So a lot of people are active during those times. So I like to post in the morning. My just thought of how everything goes. So like I would never put anything out if I was worrying about it being perfect. I'm just worrying about, is it done?
Oh, I love that you say that, because everybody trying to look cool, everybody trying to be perfect. I fall into that because I'm a techie person. So I start getting obsessed with video quality and this and that. And that's not that important all the time, although it does stand out with the quality, but the content still has to be good for it to matter.
I've seen people with ashy content that it pops.
Yeah.
You're like, how did this happen? But the content was good, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So how do you judge if something's good?
If I'm laughing and watching it back as if it wasn't me. Because naturally, like when I see things, I'll be like, wow, like he really did a really good job. So I commented you on the stuff that, you do in your content. And I look and I'm like, wow, this is really good. Everything's crisp. The actual message is good. Looks good. Like, yeah, like that's, to me, that's dope content. So it's the same thing with, I'm fans of other people that do skits or anything like that online. It's like, if I'm watching it as if I'm not watching myself, because watching myself could be like, it's a little traumatic at times. Hearing yourself. Yeah. So when you get to a point where it's like, okay, like this is actually kind of funny, or this is just unique, or this is just clever, that's when I'm like, yeah, I genuinely like this. Like one of the ones I redid all that. And I'm like, I actually love this. And it's not because of me. If anybody else would have done it, I would have felt the exact same way. Whereas like, funny. Wow, that is just clever. Yeah. Not even funny. Like most of the things I do, I don't think it's funny because those aren't my intentions per se.
I think they're pretty funny.
Thank you. So I'll
you know what it is? Because you're comfortable. I really think, I'm like, yo, check that. Like I think that's a big thing because especially in real estate, everybody taking themselves super serious. And it's like, relax, bro. Like, we get it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Thank you, man. There's only a couple.
And I would have never thought about it. So I'm like, yeah, that's it.
There's only a couple videos that I felt like was like, okay, this is funny. And it still had nothing to do with me. So it was the Life Jennings, the Everest commercial, because everybody thinks the Everest guy is hilarious. How can't you think he's hilarious? The Maury where it's just like like just those things I think were actually funny. But like I said, I don't think it was necessarily me. I think it was just the topic. Like,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Somebody
Well, you got to execute it right,
redoing that.
Because if I did it, it would not work.
I don't,
Actually, I might be
I was
funny
gonna
by
say-
accident. Like people say I'm funny by accident, but I don't think I could. I couldn't intentionally do it.
I think it'd be all right, man.
They couldn't intentionally do what?
Be funny.
Oh, I feel like you are sometimes. Like I feel like you say things with the intent of being funny, but you don't come off as funny.
I know. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, you like your sarcasm. Sometimes you say stuff and you're like, yeah, they're gonna laugh at that.
I don't know. Well, I guess sometimes, but not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it is funny.
I don't consider myself very funny.
A lot of times.
Sometimes I just say the truth in a real straight way, and people find that funny.
Mm-hmm. It's all in the delivery, man.
Yeah,
it is all in the delivery.
Bingo. I agree.
Drew, like, so Drew's a branch manager. You're a branch manager. What's
Branch
the
manager.
correct title?
That's it, branch manager, loan
I
officer.
don't get the word PRMI. Mortgage.
I help people finance homes. The title.
I'll be
outside
getting
of that.
your drip email campaigns.
Oh, you
happy
getting them?
Juneteenth. Yeah.
Hey, happy
like,
Juneteenth.
I was going to tell you.
Shout out.
I
Big
don't want
ups.
you to feel bad, but I'm like, stop emailing.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
He was gonna unsubscribe.
Come on, don't do me like that. You might get something important one day.
But I'm like, oh, this is good. You should do it. What's your take on marketing? Because I know you got a whole library of content. See, I'm mad at you for that.
You are. Which call me? This is
just
me
post it. I yell at my
He
team.
yells at me all
everybody.
the time. Just put it out there. Just put it out there. And again, you can sometimes be your own worst enemy.
Mhm.
Or again, when you hold on to stuff, like I had this whole like concept of, all right, let me just stock up a bunch of stuff so I can be consistent because I get busy during the day. I get hella busy during the day.
Mhm.
And when I don't have time to go and post, or if I don't have time to sit and schedule posts and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, I need to stack my content and then go and schedule all this for the next 30 days or the next 60 days and put it out so I ain't got to worry about it or nothing like that because I know I get busy. And, I've ran into the issue of either I don't love it, so I'm not putting it out. Or
See?
I don't have the time to be consistent with it, so I'm not putting it out.
You're pissing me off, Drew.
I know, and which called Ryan, he yells at me. He's like, just put it out, because again, the skits and stuff like that, those are the things that me and him had talked about doing skits stuff before, with like the different like rap songs and stuff like that.
I want to do a music video.
Yeah, big time. I think we should all
do that.
We should all do that.
I'll have to do a verse.
Oh yeah.
Put up a song with a beat.
That's where the buck stops, bro. I can't rap. That's
why it would
my,
be funny.
Yeah, that's I'm. I can.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like writing a rap and like remembering it on beat. Good luck with that. I can reenact somebody else's.
No, I
rap,
think if
but
it's off beat, it would be even better.
It's all right. I got
at least for me,
rappers.
because I'm not cool already. So me not being cool, maybe you got to kind of be cool, but me not being cool is cool.
That's gonna be
Does that make
struggle
sense?
for me. Yeah, I mean, whatever floats your boat. That's a hilarious ad-lib. Nah, but those things, everything you just said, you got to figure out just what works for you. But you can definitely get in your head, because we all do, bro. Sometimes I do it too. That's why one of my friends even told me, he was like, hey, look, like finish is better than perfect.
Yes.
Mhm.
And when you like start remembering that, yeah, it don't matter if I love it a bunch. But I do know, like, I planned on stocking up content for a whole bunch too,
Mhm.
but I got to work on that a couple times a week instead of like, oh, I only do this one day out of the week, because at the end of the day, my actual job is marketing. I've seen how much, like, I market more than, like, I record content more than I cold call.
Mhm.
Because
better.
cold call
sucks.
yeah, man, it's the worst thing ever. But I only feel like that because I haven't worked as much. But I know this works, so why not just double down on something that's already working?
Mhm.
So I know that I am generating leads. I know that I'm at least getting people's attention and getting people's eyes on whatever it is that I'm posting. So how about you do that, and then I'll go and do something else. So I try to focus on that. So if I had any suggestions, it's like, hey, whatever you got on your phone, man, send it all to Ryan, and you let him release it.
No, that's what I
do. Yeah.
That's what I do.
You let him release it, and you just close your eyes and see what happened. But the confidence comes from the momentum, and then you actually still working on it. So, you know, those times when you do get super busy, hey, if you're generating leads that way too, then you kind of got to give yourself some leeway to do that an hour out of your day. Let's think about content, whatever it is. And that's how I kind of like train my brain on, okay, well, what's happening now? What's the experience? Did this person just give me a terrible experience or a great one? How did I feel? Is the market great or is it terrible? How are we feeling? Am I like, you know, are we eating in our cars or are we getting a chance to sit down and really enjoy our meal? You know, so those are the type of ideas.
That's my advice for you, Drew, and anybody listening is, if you're judging yourself and now you don't want to put nothing out, hire somebody, get your friend, get your mom, get somebody else. Just give them the content and let them post it.
And you know what the crazy part is? I'm a performer. I sing, I play instruments and everything like that. I don't even judge myself. I'm just like, that ain't it. And I'm just picky. It's not even so much a confidence. It's like, I don't. What you call it? The video I sent you before, you were like, "Oh, this is good," and I never released it, and it was just subconscious. Got busy, never ended.
You can't be the gatekeeper anymore. You got to stop.
Yeah,
because
I got to delegate
that's it. Ridiculous because you have equity in the content and you're not using it.
And it's while you were talking about, you know, finding the time to record and stuff like that. Since I've become a branch manager and everything, like that's one of the things that I work on with my LOs. Like, hey, like let's record content. Let's go ahead. Let's make stuff for your Instagrams and stuff like that. So again, the stuff is there.
Right.
It's just like, don't just do it. Just put it out there.
Being able to put it out. And the secret is too, going back to even, like I said, I love that Martin skit, bro, because I put so much effort into it. But those are the ones that the people are going to love, the ones you probably love the least. And it's always like that. Whereas the ones like, this is.
I was just going to say,
and it's going to hit.
Is the number one video on this YouTube channel is a 203K video that I did with Ty, the mortgage guy, another loan officer. Sorry, Drew. And this was like years and years
ago.
Shout
out to
Ty. Yeah, and I hated the video. I almost deleted. I swear.
You tell me it all the time.
My finger was on the delete button. I said, "This is trash." Ranks in the first page on Google, 203K. It might not now, but that thing did the most views I ever had. Did the most revenue on AdSense and everything.
Yep.
I was going to delete it, and that's when I realized, just do your best.
Let it rip. Yeah.
And
let the audience decide, because if they don't like it, you know what they're going to do? Swipe it in 1.5 seconds and not care or think about it ever again. And they're not going to be like, he's dumb. They're like, they won't even think about it. People are, that's Gary Vee talks about this. And this is, I don't always agree with Gary Vee, but people don't care. They don't care.
They just want to be entertained for a split second.
Yeah.
And if they didn't like it, they're just not going to look at it.
They're always
There's no dislike button.
Yeah, they're always going to give you a shot, bro. Always. Always.
Yeah, it's funny you were talking about Kevin Hart earlier. One of the things, you know, again, that kind of helped me, like we were talking about earlier, when I first got into being a loan officer and everything like that, just finding my own lane and everything like that. Kevin Hart said it, but he was like, I'm not funny to everybody. He was like,
he's not funny.
See, he's like, there's people that think that I am not funny. Man. He's like, but there are a billion people out there that love what I do. He's like, that's who I do this for.
Yeah. And the thing that I live by is, seems like I live by a lot of quotes. I kind of do, but you can't get 100% of the pie, but what you want is 100% of your piece. That's it.
Yes.
You want 100% of whatever's cut out for you. Everybody isn't going to like you. Fine, cool. Everybody has their section, but you want 100% of whatever your piece of the pie is.
And you know, the business that you're trying to do, how many closings you need to do a year?
I don't really gauge it off. I mean,
or dollars or whatever. It's 120 people.
I mean, so
there's 300 million people in the country. You need 200 of them, 100, whatever your ambition is. Same thing in the real estate marketplace. Like, if you do 20 transactions, depending on what the sales price is, you're in the top 5-10%.
Mhm.
So that's all you need is those many people to rock with you and like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's why the general appeal is don't be generic, just be yourself. But do you think everybody can be themselves?
Can they? Yes. Will they? No.
Do you think it'll work if they're themselves?
Yes.
You think so? I don't know.
There's people that
some
watch
people got it
certain-
and some people don't got it.
You're saying that because you have a certain thing in your head that this is what got it means. There's somebody else is like, oh, I love this. So
Aren't some people just weird?
Yeah, but there's other weird people just like them. Is what I'm saying. Yes,
There's weird people making millions on the internet.
It's some people that think you weird, that think I'm weird.
Oh, they definitely do.
So it's like, everybody has their own perspective. For instance, you have 2 dogs. It's somebody else that doesn't like dogs. They like cats. So if they wanted to promote cats, you're gonna be like, well, I would never promote that. And they're gonna be like, well, I'll never promote that.
Yeah.
But it's other people out there with it.
I like your attitude about this.
Oh yeah.
I have to be like this, or else I would have quit a long time ago.
I wish you know what I wish
Quit a long
Cassandra
time ago.
or Kay was here, because I'm always beating them up, and they're like, my hair's not done, something not, my outfit not right and stuff. I'm like, please just but women have a special, and I wish one was here so we could kind of talk about it, but I did want to bring that up because
so
it's different.
Yeah, definitely different. So I'm cool without having a haircut for doing
right. You can get away with
would
it.
I rather have it? Of course.
Right.
But nah, man, I can't. I can't, as a man, you probably can't let that hold you back. You got to be able to focus on something else.
Do you think it's a disadvantage?
No, I think it's an advantage. Well,
for a guy.
I think it's kind of equal. So we
You
all
think so?
seen Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
When he walked in there and he didn't have a shirt, he was like, what would you say to somebody that didn't have a shirt? He was like, well, he must have some nice pants on. It's like he didn't have a cut, he didn't have a shirt, it didn't matter.
Yeah, but he was a genius, though. I mean, that's a little bit different.
I think everybody's a genius.
Everybody is not a genius.
I think so, bro. I think so.
No.
Yeah,
I love your positive attitude.
When somebody can uniquely be themselves, because I can't think like you, you can't think like me.
Some
when
people
you can
can't
be
think it all.
innovative and ambitious and passionate about your work and be yourself while you're doing it, to me, that's a strike of genius. That's that. And then if you can double down on it. Just for me, listen.
I love that.
For everybody that's listening, if you can be yourself, be passionate, be ambitious, be what's the other word I'm looking for?
My brother hates what you're saying too.
Persistent, dedicated.
It just innovative.
Authentic.
That's the word. Yes.
Everybody can't.
They can. They just not tapping into it. They can.
I love that inspirational message.
I dig it. I listen. I'm down. I'm down with him. Like that's. I believe it.
You guys are capping for the podcast.
Nah,
you know,
listen,
I don't cap for the. I don't pop. It's just us here. You know.
That's it. You got the dogs. You got your brother. You know, we
hold my hand over here.
And give it up to the setup. This is one of the better setups that I've seen, man.
Yeah.
This is really nice, comfortable. You got like really big leaves. Pause.
They're brand new.
Like it's.
I appreciate it.
It's all right. Yeah.
Well, I was glad to have you here.
I appreciate
Do you
it.
have any final thoughts, final words that you want
to? Anybody that's doing something or trying to do something, definitely surround yourself with some positive people. Don't let people like Ryan bombard you with thoughts.
I will. I'm gonna tear your dreams down. See, don't come to me with a dream and don't have a plan, because I'm gonna eat it up.
Oh God.
Yeah, I would say, listen, whatever you're trying to do, man, keep pushing forward. Remember that everybody's going through something every day. You're not the only person that has a rough life, or not the only person that's, just going through some ups and downs. So, just make sure you be kind to people and continue to stick to your script, go on your path, and, believe in yourself. No matter what you do, just make sure you believe in yourself and keep going.
Amen.
Beautiful.
For sure.
You can tell he did radio.
Listen, I love it. I love it, man.
Oh, that's
smooth with it.
Good. Yeah.
Smooth with it.
What's up, Drew? What you got? You want
Listen,
to give
man.
some inspiration? I'm not going to inspire nobody.
He got it all. He got it all.
I got to listen. He just gave all the inspiration, man. You know, I'm feeling invigorated. I might go post a video tonight.
Yeah, well, look, stop playing. Look,
I have accountability partners too, bro. It's times where I don't feel like don't know. So if that's what's going to make you better, I'm sorry, I got ice in my mouth.
You good?
If that's what's going to push you forward to start off, you ain't got to drop one every day.
Just hire somebody.
How about start off once a week?
Just hire someone and give them all the content.
That too. That's actually easier. And never check your Instagram or whatever you're posting. Don't sell. You just never.
I don't look at my stuff.
Yeah.
I have someone that put, not for the real estate side, but talk to me nice, other podcast stuff. I never look at it. It's cringe. I can't look at it.
And one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be getting all the love. Like, oh my God, Drew, I just seen your skit on the Shade Room. You're gonna be like, what?
Wait, from that night out, or
you know what I mean? So
that's listen, man. I appreciate all that, man. That's all good stuff. So again, if you guys are out there, again, if you're a real estate agent, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're starting a business, again, just like he said, follow, stick to your own script. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't or you can't. Just keep pushing forward and put yourself out there, man.
I just want to know from the audience, speaking about, first of all, content, I can never judge my own content. I have no clue what's good or bad. So that's why I'm asking you guys. This show, we had a little bit different structure today. I wanted to know what you guys think about it. If you've watched a couple of these, let me know how you like this. This is a little less like information heavy, more story and general, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So I want to know what you guys think. But that's the Ardhi Real Estate Podcast, episode 26? 36. Bam.
Appreciate you having me, big dog.
Hey, let's go.